So this is for all my friends out there who are LSU fans, and I do have a few just really because of the part of the country I live in here in Mississippi. But I feel like it's my responsibility to give y'all a bit of a public service announcement here, a little bit of a warning. Now I'm probably not going to tell you anything you don't already know, but I feel like I wouldn't be a very good friend if I didn't say something. Y'all have Ole Miss coming to Baton Rouge Saturday night in a game where I'm pretty sure Ole Miss is probably going to be favored by a little bit, but I'm not really here to talk about the game per se. Um, get ready for the injuries. Every week when teams put out an injury report, you'll see on any given team's injury report, you'll see between 4 and 6 names. Most of the time it's at least four. Most of the time it's no more than 6 or 7. I don't know if it's the injury report for this week or if it was the injury report for last week. Ole Miss had either 24 or 25 people on their injury report. It's no secret. It's been going on since COVID. There are going to be a lot of injuries from Ole Miss, and they're going to happen right after first downs. They're going to happen, like I said, right after first downs, big plays, when your offense is getting a little bit of momentum, or just if their offense needs an extra timeout. Basically, Lane Kiffin has figured out how to basically use this to his advantage to get, 5 or 6, 6 or 7 extra timeouts per half. It's going to have to be addressed. There's other videos, a lot better than mine that have come out about it. Obviously, the NCAA is not going to do anything, and you can't really count on the NCAA to do anything about anything anyway. In my opinion, they're a terrible organization. However, one of the most, if not the most powerful individuals in all of college football is Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC. He's going to have to put his foot down. Something's going to have to be done about this. It's in every game. They did it against Kentucky. They did it against South Carolina. And I don't know how many of y'all saw Shane Beamer's press conference after the South Carolina Ole Miss game. They asked him about it, and you could tell that he had blood in his mouth, biting his tongue because he wanted to let Lane Kiffin have it. He gave an answer, he gave an opinion, and that was some of the most textbook coach talk I've ever heard. Because apparently, if you are a coach and you start accusing other coaches of cheating or this, that, and the other, you can be fined. I didn't know that, but apparently that's the rules. So, he's obviously, trying to avoid some monetary troubles there. But, here's the thing, and there's really no way around this. The Ole Miss team, one of two things is going on, because I will never downplay a legitimate injury. Like when a player is hurt, okay, they're hurt. Take care of the players first. I will never downplay or make light of any injury. I don't want to give that impression. I really don't. But when your quarterback is like getting another player's attention and pointing to the ground, and Lane Kiffin is doing the same thing from the sidelines, and then when it doesn't work out exactly right, the player gets to the sidelines and Lane Kiffin chews him out for not going down when he points at the ground. It's ridiculous. And then just pop right up like everything's fine. Yeah, they'll go out, for a play because I guess, on the surface they've got to make it look right, but they're right back in. I'm really bad about getting on here and just sharing my opinions about different rule changes and what they need to do about this, that, and the other, whatever. I've got an idea for this one. If a player goes down with an injury, they are out for the rest of the series. If it's an offensive player, they're out for the rest of that offensive series. If it's a defensive player, they're out for that series. They're out. And all of this just faking it stuff, if that's what's really happening, if they're just doing it like to buy time or whatever, delay of game penalties. And when it gets really egregious, start finding the coach from the league. The SEC needs to start fining the coach. $10,000, $25,000, whatever. I don't care about that. Just something as a deterrent, because it's, everybody notices that they're not hiding it. And something I heard, a really interesting take, and I'm not saying that this makes it okay or it makes it right or fair or whatever, but there was a discussion I heard on satellite radio about this earlier this morning, that basically they said, you know what? Yeah, Lane, this is all a ploy. He's doing this, to buy more time. He's telling these guys to fake injuries, and they're going along with it, et cetera, et cetera. People did it to him for so long at other schools, for so long without anything happening to them. Now he's fixing to do it right back to them until something happens, until they make him stop. So that kind of take, like I said, that doesn't make it okay and it doesn't make it right. But basically that level-headed take was that he's basically just doing this to get even, which is right in the middle of Lane Kiffin's playbook. If Lane Kiffin has ever been slighted by someone or something or whatever, he's got a long memory. And he's going to find a way to get back. But as I kind of mentioned a minute ago, either way, this looks bad for Ole Miss. Because one, okay, you're faking injuries, you're delaying the game. Obviously, all of that's negative, if that's what's going on. If it's not, and I haven't really heard a lot of people mention this yet, but this really kind of goes without saying, and there's really no way around this. If all of these injuries are legitimate, then he needs to find a new strength and conditioning coach, and they need a completely brand new, revamped from the ground up strength and conditioning program, because these guys are weak. If you are catching these many injuries, just for bumps, all of these players that have gone down with these injuries all year, none of them have resulted in that player missing any game time. They're always right back out there. So if it is a legitimate injury that they're going down with, that's conditioning. If it's something like that. Now, because, obviously a more serious injury, busted knees and broken legs and that kind of thing, that kind of stuff happens, and it has nothing to do with strength and conditioning. Accidents in this game happen. That's just one of the nasty truths about this game, but these aren't those kinds of injuries. They're just going down because they're just saying it's a really bad bump. So either they're faking all of this stuff, wasting game time, slowing the momentum of the other team offensively or, defensively. It's either that or their strength and conditioning is worse than most high schools. And it's time for a serious change in the way their strength and conditioning program is being managed and handled, and the way their practices are going. I mean, you mean to tell me that if these are legitimate little injuries these guys are going down with, like I said, because of a cramp or a bump or all of a sudden something hurts, right before we got to snap the ball, they're down, holding their side or their leg or whatever, practice more full contact in practice. Toughen your guys up a little bit. If we're expected to believe that this is all legitimate stuff, get tougher. The answer, grow by 6 inches, really, or quit wasting everybody's time.